The tasks required to ensure preservation of records are applied in production by the National Archive and Records Administration. Can these tasks be expressed as computer actionable rules? In 2005, the National Archives started development of an electronic records archives. This project had the goal of implementing a digital archive that would manage all of the NARA digital holdings. NARA surveyed all of the internal requirements that they were enforcing for hard copy records and generated a list of 853 requirements. A document that analyzed these requirements is the spreadsheet in the Sakai Resources Repository ERA iRODS comparison.xls. For each NARA requirement, the essential components of a policy to automate the task was defined. This included rules, the operations used by a rule, the metadata needed for the operations, and information needed about the users, the records, and the rules. A summary of the rules and metadata is provided in the spreadsheet ERA sum irod.xls. A total of 174 rules were defined to automate the tasks. Example tasks from the ERA spreadsheet are shown here. For each ERA task, a unique ID is defined, the metadata needed for the operation is defined, the operations are listed, a rule is defined, rule metadata is defined, a meta rule or class of rules is defined, and user metadata is defined. 3 tasks are listed in the table that are related to linking preservation and access plans with electronic records and items and disposition agreements, and with defining the access level for electronic records. For each task, operations are defined for authentication and metadata creation, status flags are specified for tracking outcomes, and user metadata access controls are listed. In 2005, the Research Library Group in NARA published an audit checklist for certifying digital repositories. A task force was created to standardize requirements. They developed the concept of trustworthiness, the set of actions that need to be performed for a repository to be trusted. A paper is available in LifeLab's own home R.W. Moore Class 624 called Rlgnara Pledge, which describes digital archive policies and trusted digital repositories. In particular, the paper discusses the mapping of preservation capabilities to rules. The process identified a smaller set of tasks needed for trustworthiness. From the assessments, a set of preservation capabilities can be extracted. Each capability represents a class of tasks that need to be performed. Identified classes include management of disposition agreements, describing record retention and disposition actions, accession, the formal acceptance of records into the data management system, arrangement, the organization of the records to preserve a required structure, implemented as a collection sub-collection hierarchy, description, the management of descriptive metadata as well as text indexing, preservation, the generation of archival information packages, access, the generation of dissemination information packages, subscription, the specification of services that a user picks for execution, notification, the delivery of notices on service execution results, queuing of large-scale tasks through interaction with workflow systems, and system performance and failure reports. Of particular interest is the identification of all failures within the data management system and the recovery procedures that were invoked. Transformative migration, the ability to convert specified data formats to new standards. In this case, each new encoding format is managed as a version of the original record. Display transformation, the ability to reformat a file for presentation. And automated client specification, the ability to pick the appropriate client for each user. Take 7 minutes and complete exercise 98. Select 5 requirements that you believe are needed for a trustworthy repository. Note that the requirements may continue to evolve. See the spreadsheet ERA rules sum.xls for a summary of the rules. Please load a paragraph describing your result into the lifetime library in the sub-collection class INLS 624 by the end of today's class.